Peter Rose, Longwood Currency Trading. It's a beautiful early June 2021 day, and my topic that I wanted to discuss is a philosophical view of Forex reward targets. I did a video the other day where I was talking about looking at the reward aspects of a trade and pretty well disregarding the risk part of that because of I set a static risk level. I don't have anything to worry about it. My focus is on establishing that I've got a potentially good trade, and then secondarily looking toward entry criteria to make sure that I'm getting in at the right time. But in that video, it discussed this view of putting the reward at the top of your mind, as opposed to having risk and fear cluttering your trading up. I don't think Muhammad Ali or George Foreman went into the ring worrying about their risk. I don't think Larry Bird, the basketball player, worried about the other team. I don't think Mark Spitz worried about whether the water was going to be cold or too deep or whatever. It's a positive state of mind that we have to be in as traders in order to deal with the complexity of the trading process itself. Now, making a trade is simple. It's not easy, and it's not easy because of the complexity of the background that trade is painted against. And so you have to abstract yourself out of that complexity with the confidence in yourself that you're going to make the right decisions. Well, how do you do that when you are learning? Well, I think you have to understand that as a beginner, you're not going to win. I mean, that isn't a negative. That's not risk. That's a fact. If you jump in the pool and you're going to compete with a swim team, even though you're a good swimmer, you're not used to competition, and so you can't expect to win because you don't have the mindset for it. And it's no different in trading. You have to have the correct mindset. Now, I've talked about the psychology of mindset before, and I've recommended Mark Douglas's book, Trading in the Zone. That's psychology. I'm talking about a philosophical view of Forex trading, a philosophical view of the reward target that we're looking at, not a psychological one or a mechanical one. What's a philosophy? It's a belief system. You have to believe in yourself and your skills. And so if you don't have any skills, the only thing you have left to believe in is yourself. And you have to have a good work ethic. You have to, as the Buddhist would say, be right thinking and right living in your life in order to warrant experiencing the joys and the bountifulness of the nature around us, as opposed to living in fear and not letting yourself go to potential failure. If you've ever played poker before, you don't expect to sit down at the poker table and win every hand or come away with a lot of money unless you're really, really experienced. So you go and you sit and you learn. You play in the smaller games and you lose. And as Jesse Livermore would say, the more I lose, the more I learn what not to do. And the more I learn what not to do, the more I learn what to do. We're also complicated in trading by exactly when you do that. You have the what, the how, and we're also the when. And that's all about trade entry analysis. But the initial view of price action in the market in general is there a profit target or is there not? You can't effectively make that determination unless you have confidence in yourself, the philosophical feeling within yourself that you are right living and right thinking, and that your observations of the nature around you are grounded in fact and not fake news or dreams or hopes or fears or greed. We watched YouTube videos of these guys driving around in their Lamborghinis and their gold watches and traveling all over the world and working 5 minutes a day and making $1 million. Is that really realistic? Well, no. Is it possible? Are there some people that do that? Yeah. But those people that are doing that successfully aren't on YouTube because they don't really give a shit about you. They're just having fun, living their lives and making money. You're never going to see them. They're not advertising or broadcasting or whatever. You see folks like myself on YouTube, a successful real estate investor. I've got nothing to prove to anybody. I'm working through the currency trading stuff. When I follow my rules, I'm very, very successful. When I don't follow my rules, the exact opposite happens and I wipe out, as it should be. If you expect large goals, you must be willing to assume large risk. If your view of the world is to, as they say in the movie, the great movie, A Big Night, you have to reach out and grab life by the ass and drag it to you. You don't wait for it to come to you. But that's a state of mind. That's a philosophy of life that you have of yourself within the context of the life that you have. You might be dead, broke, poor, living in a gutter. But if you have the proper positive attitude, you can pull yourself out of that. Currency trading is a wonderful way to do that. If you have nothing, you can get something through currency trading. Or if you know how to fix up cars, you can do that. Or if you know how to trade antiques, you can do that. What are you good at? What are you passionate about? What interests you as you sit there in the gutter bemoaning your fate, wondering what you're going to do with your life? What is it that you would do if you had all the money in the world? If money was no object, what would you do? And if your reply is sit around and watch video games and drink beer, great. Be a sponsor, advertiser for a beer company and for a gaming company, if those are your passions. No matter what it, I mean, if all you want to do is drink and party and all that kind of shit, you're a useless human being and just live in your fantasy world. And I can't help you. Nobody else can help you. That's kind of sarcastic. Well, that's my philosophy of life. Nobody gives you anything unless you come into a wealthy family. And even then the gifts are weighted upon you because you didn't deserve them. You don't have the information necessary to sustain them. And so you act like an asshole. That's just the way, that's your warped philosophy of life. So the things that are philosophically great to be able to have are equally damaging to you if you get it wrong. Don't worry about getting your trading wrong. That's fixable. But your philosophical view of the world, don't fuck that up. Get that right. Because if you can get that right, you can learn what not to do. And if you can learn what not to do, you can learn what to do. So your philosophical view of currency trading, whether you're a beginner or experienced, has to be that you're a good person, right living and right thinking. Your philosophy has to be that of a winner. Your philosophy of life has to be of a reward nature, not a fear of something that you avoid in order to get to the reward. You need only to become aware of what the obstacles are in your path to success. Identify the key ones, risks. Determine a manner to risk mitigate each one of those fears, each one of those risks, and then get on with the reward stuff. So when you're learning how to trade, or if you come and you want to study under me, I don't give a shit how experienced you are. I don't care what your background is or how much money you have. We all start from the same place. That's the way I do it with my karate students. When a person would come in to take martial arts from me, the first thing I did was hand them a broom, sweep the floor. That's a fact. I had a bank president as a student. I've had truck drivers. I've had medical professionals. I've had clerks and unemployed. I've had everybody in my 50 years of involvement in the martial arts. But you come in to train with me, the first thing you get is a broom. If you don't like it, hit the fucking door. Because that's the way we began. And in currency trading, we begin with the desire to embrace life, to drag it by the embrace life by the ass and drag it to you by making mistakes, having a desire to make mistakes so that we can learn what not to do. That's a philosophy of life, not a psychological issue. If you don't get the philosophy right, you can't change the psychology. Look at your life. If you have problems, fix them. Don't whine about it. Don't concentrate on it. Maybe you're sick. Maybe you're very, very sick. But you're still alive. Even if you're terminal, you're still alive. What are you going to do? You're going to sit around and feel sorry for yourself and hope that everybody else feels sorry for you? You know you're not gonna do that. I'm 72 years old. You know, I'm looking at the crest of the hill of life. I still have a long way to go, I hope. But at 72, you have to be realistic about time. It doesn't extend infinitely in front of you as it might when you're 22. But I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking about making YouTube videos to the 50 or so people that subscribe to my channel at this point, after doing 106 of videos. I don't care. It's me. I'm learning. That's my philosophy of life, to grab it by the ass and drag it to me. I'm reading. I just read, as I mentioned the other day, Jane Austen's Sense and Sensibility. I'm reading a book now on 4 great bear markets in the American economic history. I read a book a few months ago on techniques of breath in athletics. Why? I'm not going to teach anybody that stuff. I'm an old guy. Who the fuck wants to learn from an old guy? It's for me. It's to enrich my life. And the more enriched my life becomes, the more I look toward the good stuff and the rewards. So that at the end of the day, when the sun starts to crest over the yardarm, I can sit down with my wife and have a nice glass of really inexpensive wine that we really enjoy because we're doing that together. And we sit down to play backgammon with no intent to play in tournaments or anything. We play backgammon every night because it's a great game. And we can kibitz each other as we play. A philosophy of life is to enjoy life. I did that when I was employed. I enjoyed life. You have to enjoy your life. If your situation in life is so screwed up that you're not enjoying your life, change your situation. If the environment that you're in is gang-filled and drug-filled, and you're afraid to go out of your house, or the people around you are idiots, get on a bus and go somewhere else. If you don't have anything where you are and you're suffering, go somewhere where it's better, and you'll still be in the same suffering mode until you finally figure out life is good because you have choices. So your choice in trading is the same thing. You can look at that as a monumental pain in the ass that you're trying to do to make money, or you can look at it as proof of concept of your hard work at philosophically maturing yourself so that you could look objectively and realistically at the world around you, to see the negative things and accept them for what they are, but choose to rather accept and pursue the positive things that will make your life better. And when you can do that, then the philosophy or your philosophical view of Forex reward target identification will be so simple. Peter Rose, Longwood Currency Trading. Have a great day and have a great trading day.